Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Ragasudha Tayya, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Microbiology, Government City College, Hyderabad, is here to talk on chemotherapy. Microbial pathogens grow on and within the body of all living organisms and colonize whose colonization may lead to disease, disability, and death. Thus, the control or destruction of these microbial pathogens within the body of humans and animals or plants is of great importance. The treatment of a disease with a chemical substance is called chemotherapy. The chemical substance used for chemotherapy is known as chemotherapeutic agent or antimicrobial agent. Chemotherapy had been practiced by man for centuries, but it was early in the present century that chemical treatment of disease revolutionized in the field of medicine. This turn in events is attributed to two discoveries. The first was the discovery of sulfur drugs that could be used successfully for the treatment of certain diseases caused by bacteria. Secondly was finding of new and potent class of antimicrobial drugs, namely antibiotics. Let us see some general characteristics of these therapeutic drugs. A therapeutic drug must have some selective toxicity. That is, it must kill or inhibit the microbial pathogen while damaging the host a little as possible. The degree of selective toxicity may be expressed in terms of therapeutic index. Therapeutic index is the ratio of toxic dose and therapeutic dose. Toxic dose refers to the drug level at which the agent becomes too toxic for the host, while therapeutic dose represents the drug level required for clinical treatment of a particular infection. Hence, it is very important to determine the toxicity of a drug and its therapeutic dosages, which a ratio of these two will produce a therapeutic index which will lower the toxicity of the individual being treated, or the drug's toxicity will be lower to the maximum level. The next point here is narrow spectrum drugs and broad spectrum drugs. Every drug has a range of activity. The drug vary considerably in their range of effectiveness. Many are narrow spectrum drugs, means effective only against a limited variety of pathogens, while some other may exhibit broad spectrum drugs, which means exhibiting the effectiveness against a larger group or different kinds of pathogens. The next important characteristic of therapeutic drugs are natural or synthetic. Based on the source of production, these drugs may be classified into natural or synthetic. A number of most commonly employed antibiotics are natural, means totally synthesized by certain bacteria or fungi. In contrast, several important chemotherapeutic agents are completely synthetic. The synthetic antibacterial drugs are like sulfonamides, trimethoprim, chloramphenicol, ciprofloxacin, isoniazid, and dapsone. Many antiviral and antiprotozoan drugs are synthetic drugs. An increasing number of antibiotics are semi-synthetic. So what are these semi-synthetic? These are the antibiotics whose structure is chemically modified in order to produce a more effective antibiotic. Example, ampicillin, carbonicillin, methicillin, etc. Next, moving on to the mode of action of penicillin on microorganisms. Penicillin is the first antibiotic to be discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928 when he noticed that the fungus Penicillium killed disease causing bacteria like streptococci. staphylococci in his discovery. Let us see some history of this penicillin. On to the right side, you can see a poster showing thanks to penicillin, he will come home. This is a poster shown during World War II, where the soldiers who were wounded in the war were found. It is very difficult for them to return home because once they are wounded means they die out of various kinds of infections. So once the penicillin has become a boon in that particular war period, where it cured the soldiers and left a hope that they would come home very soon. The mass production of the new drug of penicillin was used in World War II. Penicillin saved many lives during the war that may have been lost due to infected wounds. Penicillin was also said to treat diphtheria, gangrene, pneumonia, syphilis, and tuberculosis. Penicillin, the first antibiotic, is used clinically, and Fleming has received a Nobel Prize for his discovery in 1945. Penicillin can be synthesized in two ways. One is natural penicillin and the other one is semi-synthetic penicillin. Natural penicillin is in turn of two types, acid labile and acid resistant. Acid labile penicillins are penicillin G, also known as benzyl penicillin, procan, procaine penicillin called penicillin G, then benzathine is another penicillin G. Acid resistant penicillin is penicillin V, also known as phenoxymethyl penicillin. Semi synthetic penicillins are in turn of two types. Natural penicillin was found to microorganisms have developed resistant to natural penicillin, which led to the development of the semi-synthetic penicillins, namely penicillin resistant and or beta lactamase inhibitor penicillins, which exhibit a good spectrum. Penicillin was originally produced by fungi Penicillium notatum and Penicillium chrysogenum. Let us see the mechanism of action of penicillin. Penicillin is still not completely known. It has been proposed that penicillin inhibit the enzyme catalyzing the transpeptidation reaction, which results in the blockage of synthesis of a complete fully cross-linked peptidoglycan and leads to osmotic lysis. The mechanism is consistent with the observation that penicillins act only on growing bacteria that are synthesizing new penicillin, and the fully grown bacterial cells remain ineffective. However, more recently it has been discovered that penicillin binds to several penicillin binding proteins and may destroy bacteria by activating their own autolytic enzymes. There now is some evidence that penicillins kill bacteria even in the absence of autolysin or murine hydrolases. Lysis could occur after bacterial viability has already been lost. Penicillin may stimulate special proteins called bacterial holins to form holes or lesions in the plasma membrane. This would lead leakage of the membrane and death of the microorganism. Moreover, murine hydrolases could move these holes, disrupt the peptidoglycan, and lyse the cell. In the light of above, the mechanism of penicillin action appears more complex than previously imagined and needs thorough investigation. In the picture, we can see a peptidoglycan layer with N-acetyl glucosamine and N-acetyl muramic acids and amino acid chains. And these are the cross linkages between the peptidoglycan layers, where beta lactam antibiotic penicillin it interferes with the transpeptidase enzyme, which has a penicillin binding protein. Cross linking is blocked by cleavage of the terminal D aniline and transpeptidation of 5 glycine chain residues, inhibits cell wall synthesis and damages the cell. High osmotic pressure inside the cell and low osmotic pressure outside the cell leads to leakage of the cell contents or lysis of the bacterial cell. Thus, penicillin is bactericidal, means it kills the bacteria. Autolysins released from penicillin PBP complex to digest remaining cell wall remnants. Let's see the antibacterial spectrum of penicillin. It has a narrow spectrum. It is effective against gram-positive bacteria like cocci, streptococci, pneumococci, bacilli, Bacillus anthracis, Clostridium diphtheria, Clostridia, and Listeria species. Limited gram-negative. It is effective against limited gram-negative bacteria like gonococci, meningococci, actinomycetes, spirochetes, treponema, and leptospira. Uses of penicillin. It is mostly used for streptococcal infections like pharyngitis, otitis media, scarlet fever, rheumatoid fever, subacute bacterial endocarditis, pneumococcal infections, lobar pneumonia, meningococcal infections, meningitis, gonococcal infections, ophthalmia neonatorum, syphilis, and leptospirosis. It is also effective against diphtheria, tetanus, anthrax, actinomycosis, rat bite fever, and it is used as a prophylactic drug in case of rheumatic fever, bacterial endocarditis, and agranulocytosis. Penicillin also has some adverse side effects like hypersensitivity. Some patients are hypersensitive to this drug, may produce some rashes, itching, urticaria, fever, wheezing, angioneurotic edema, serum sickness, exfoliative dermatitis, anaphylaxis, but rarely it is fatal. Next, let us see. We have in due course of time, penicillin has developed microorganisms treated with penicillin have developed resistance. So there was a biotransformation of this particular drug. What is this biotransformation? It is routinely used for commercially produced antibiotics. Semi-synthetic antibiotics are produced due to this biotransformation, and synthetic penicillins like cephalosporins are produced by chemical modification of penicillin nuclei. Example 6-MNO penicillinic acid. The penicillin nucleus is produced by microbial deacylation of naturally produced penicillin G and penicillin V. So this is the general structure of penicillin with thiazidularen ring, beta-lactam ring, and acyl side chain. So penicillin G and penicillin V are deacylated to produce the penicillin nucleus called 6-MNO penicillinic acid, which is chemically transformed into semi-synthetic penicillins and cephalosporins. So R is the region where penicillin nucleus has been modified in order to produce a new semi-synthetic penicillin. When R is modified, it produces um the first one is penicillin G. Uh, a modification at R produces penicillin X, then penicillin K, then dihydropenicillin F, and penicillin F. Penicillinase resistance. The site of penicillinase action is breaking in beta-lactam ring. So this is penicillinase resistance is produced by penicillin-resistant microorganisms which breaks the beta-lactam ring of the penicillin nucleus and inactivates the antibiotic. So methicillin, cloxacin, dicloxacin, oxacillin, flucloxacin, and naficillin. The side chain of these antibiotics are been protected so that this penicillinase enzyme is ineffective against these antibiotics. Penicillin today, still the most widely used antibiotic, still the drug of choice to treat many bacterial infections. Scientists have continued to improve the yield of the drug Present day strains of Penicillium chrysogenum are biochemical mutants that produce 10,000 times more penicillin than Fleming's original isolation. Next, moving on to the next drugs or a group of drugs known as sulfur drugs. Sulfur drugs are also known as sulfonamides. These are the first antimetabolites to be used successfully in chemotherapeutic agents to inhibit the growth of the bacterium. It was first discovered by Domag in 1932 and are structurally related to sulfonamide. It is sulfonamide chrysoide is a prontosil red. It is a dye used to treat experimental streptococcal infection in mice, and it was found to be very effective. And it is also used has been used to cure infants with streptococcal septicemia. After the discovery of Damag in 1935, in 1937, Prontisol was broken down in the body. It was discovered that Prontisol is broken in the body to release sulfonamide, which acts as an active antibacterial agent. This is the basic structure of sulfonamide. It consists of para-amino benzoin ring, that is central, the benzene ring in the middle, and it consists of N1 substitution. This particular region is used for modification or producing different forms of the sulfonamide drugs. N4 is free amino group, which is required for antibacterial activity. So, a substitution at N1 region of the basic sulfonamide structure produces sulfanilamide or sulfapyridine, sulfathiazole, sulfadiazide, sulfamerazine, and sulfamethoxine, and so on. Let's see the mode of action of this sulfonamide drugs. The mode of action of this sulfonamide drug is inhibition of tetrahydrofolic acid synthesis. In short, tetrahydrofolic acid is known as THFA. Many bacteria require para-amino benzoic acid PABA as a precursor for the synthesis of essential coenzyme tetrahydrofolic acid. This para-aminobenzoic acid is a structural part of tetrahydrofolic acid molecule. The selective action of sulfonamide is explained by the fact that para-aminobenzoic acid molecule and a sulfonamide molecule are very similar in their structures and may enter reaction in place of PABA and block the synthesis of the essential cell constituents, which in case THFA. That is how it inhibits the synthesis of tetrahydrofolic acid synthesis. And when this tetrahydrofolic acid, it is a coenzyme which is essential for the synthesis of amino acids, thymidine and folic acids. And what happens when this coenzyme is inhibited or its production is disrupted? It interferes with the synthesis of amino acids. Thymidine directly it interferes with the synthesis of nucleic acids and folic acid. What is the role of this folic acid? Folic acid is very essential for the growth of bacteria. It is crucial for nucleic acid synthesis. Many bacteria synthesize their own folic acid from para-aminobenzoic acid. Sulfonamides are structural analogues of this para-aminobenzoic acid, enters the sequence in place of para-aminobenzoic acid. So sulfonamides compete for enzyme dihydropteroic acid synthesis to create a non-functional analog of folic acid, which ultimately interrupts with the nucleic acid synthesis and seizes the growth of the bacterium. Thus, this particular drug acts as a bacteriostatic agent. And what happens when this drug is administered to human beings? We all know human beings require folic acid. Humans absorb folic acid directly from the diet, hence sulfonamides are selectively toxic to bacteria only and has no effect on its host cells. Let's see the antibacterial spectrum of the sulfur drugs. This drug is microorganisms sensitive to this drug are Streptococcus pneumoniae, Haemophilus influenzae, Haemophilus ducreae, Clostridium granulomatis, Vibrio cholerae, Chlamydia species, Actomycetes, Nocardia, and Toxoplasma. Resistant organisms are Gonococci, Staphylococci, Meningococci, Streptococci, E. coli, and Shigella. The mechanism of resistance is due to mutations. Overproduction of PAB is done by the microorganism, or altered nature of dihydropteroic acid synthesis is produced, or loss of permeability of sulfonamides of the bacterial membrane, and it appears an alternative pathway also. Clinical uses. Nowadays, sulfonamide is not used alone, it is always used in a combination with other drugs. Clinically, oral absorbable drugs are acute uncomplicated UTIs. Third choice, it is a third choice drug for nocardiasis, cancroid, then lymphogranuloma. Oral non absorbable drugs like sulfasalazine is a drug of choice for ulcerative colitis. Sulfasalazine is also a drug for rheumatoid arthritis. Topical agent, it is used as a topical agent in the form of sodium sulfacetamide, ophthalmic solution or ointments. Then trachoma, chlamydia, trachomatis, bacterial conjunctivitis. Sulfur sulfasidine is used, which is least toxic and preferred over mafenide. It slowly releases silver ions and acts as an additional antimicrobial agent. It is also used as prophylaxis or infections in case of burns and active against pseudomonas. Similar to penicillin, even sulfonamide drugs also have adverse effects. The first one is crystal urea plus renal toxicity, dose related. Acylated metabolites are less soluble in acidic urine, which leads to precipitation in kidneys and renal tubules, causing crystal urea and renal obstruction. Another adverse effect is even this drug is shown hypersensitivity reaction in some of the patients, leading to rashes, especially at mucocutaneous junctions. Steve Johnson syndrome, which includes erythema multiforme, ulcerations of mucous membranes, and malaise, eosinophilia, drug fever, and exfoliative dermatitis. Adverse effects are extended with hemolysis, which occurs in patients with G6PD deficiency, neutropenia, agranulocytosis, then thrombocytopenia can occur. Kernicterus in neonates is observed, can be precipitated, especially in premature infants, since their blood brain barrier is not fully developed. Sulfonamides, they displace bilirubin from protein binding sites. Bilirubin passes through BBB and deposits the basal ganglia plus subthalamic nuclei. It also causes nausea, vomiting, epigastric pain, and hepatitis. Thank you.